Greetings, YouTube world. It is I, the Alienator Mars, everybody's favorite screwball, and I'm back for another episode of the Alien's Lair. Now, as you can tell, we got a little slightly different background here. My first time using my webcam on my computer, so I'm in my office. Not only that, as you can tell, we're doing And We Run by Within Temptation featuring Xzibit, and we're doing another virtual thing guest. With a guest. This young lady is my friend Katie, which I'm not sure where she disappeared to. She's hiding on me again. And now, if you saw my video where I reacted to Dermot Kennedy doing a song called Rome, and I give a shout out to my friend Katie, well, this is the Katie who's currently MIA. And as per usual, I still can't figure out the name of that darn bar we met at, but anyways.
Oh, I didn't see you there.
Katie, hey!
How are you?
Good, how you doing?
Good.
You ready to rock and roll?
Yeah, I thought I heard your voice, so I just thought I'd stop on by.
Oh, sure. No, say hi to YouTube?
Hi, YouTube.
Anybody want to give a shout out to or say hi to or anything like that?
Well, I overheard you saying that you can't remember where we met, but I think it was a bar, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a bar, which I can never remember the name of. It's here in town, and yeah.
It's so weird. Oh, I've got the same logo on the back of my shirt.
Oh, funny how that works.
So maybe I'll shout out to a few more of those peeps off the top of my head. Danny, Amy, and I guess I'll do a shout out to Whitey.
Oh, yeah, you can't forget Whitey. It's like, hey. So as I said, we're doing a song called And We Run by Within Temptation. Are you familiar with these guys at all, or not really, or so-so? Or
No, never heard of them.
Yeah, they're doing a song. The song's featuring Xzibit. You know,
I know Xzibit. I know Xzibit.
Okay, good. I don't feel so old now. Okay, so you ready to dive into this?
Absolutely, let's do it.
All right. So just bear with me, guys. I'm still getting used to this whole new virtual thing. So let me just, okay, here we go. And let's get into it.
It burns into your heart, the darkness that you fear. You were never free, and you never realized. And love is a word you never heard. Your heart ain't cold 'cause it burns, a desire to leave the mind.
But I never lose hope, this is my time now. No time for tears, celebrate, put it in the air right now. Never back down, you can never wear my crown, 'cause they're way too much, and I crush every motherfucking thing I touch. This is love, I never loved so much. Get involved, make the world stand up. Give my life before I ever give up. Naming lights, you lost all my trust. Now it's time to face all of us. Get in line, 'cause they're calling us, and it feels so long.
See, I always like how they could go between her, Xzibit, like sharing that something singer back to Xzibit again. And it's currently the most played song on my iPhone.
Oh wow. Okay. Keep going.
Yeah, let's keep going.
That was good. At the end, I got the goosebumps.
And so you liked it?
I do. I grew up listening to Evanescence, and it kind of reminds me of them. Just having like a female
other people say
singer.
the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess like I had like an alternative. I would call it an alternative phase. I don't consider myself punk at the time, but like when I was a teenager, I definitely listened to a lot of alternative rock. And I think it was just growing up with a dad who was a drummer and only like strictly listened to rock. And then it wasn't until like my adult years that I actually got like really into old school rap. Like I don't like the new shit that's come out, but I like the original rappers from like the 80s and 90s. So I just really like the mix of both genres. I think you would think there'd be like a contrast because they're different genres of music, but I think that they're both considered like that, like really like badass type of music that they work together. Like I think a contrast would work in certain situations, but I think even though like one is considered rock, one is considered rap, it still really works really well together because they do have like that badass feel. So
I know. The first time I heard it, I fell in love with it right away. Well, because I knew Xzibit, obviously, from his music and Pimp My Ride and a couple other things. So I knew who he was, and I knew the band, but I was like, okay, how are they going to make this work?
Yeah.
Right.
You hear about it and you're like, oh, that sounds interesting, but it came together really nicely. And when I first heard her voice, that's not what I was expecting. I find that a lot of rock bands that have female singers, they tend to have like that like raspy rock kind of voice, but she could do anything. Like she could go be a pop star if she wanted because she has that type of voice, but it works well with the music that she's putting out. I like it.
Yeah, I've Within Temptation, I've seen live twice, both times in Toronto. Fantastic show. They were great with the crowd, and they just rocked out and had a good time, and it was great shows. But I would have no problem seeing these guys again live.
So she's good live, like her vocals are good live.
Yeah, fantastic.
Because there's
Fantastic.
nothing worse than falling in love with a band and then going seeing them live and realizing they suck live.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was gonna say like the best concert I've ever been to was an accident. I didn't buy tickets. I didn't plan on going. My girlfriends were going, and then one of their friends backed out last minute and they said, do you want to take the ticket? And I was like, why not? Like it was the Dixie Chicks. And I'm not a huge country fan, but I'm like, it's the Dixie Chicks. You don't say no to that. Plus I knew it was going to be a good time. So I went, and I literally after the concert, I downloaded like all their music. So they blew my mind because their vocals sounded exactly like they do when you listen to them like through a CD. I'm dating myself. Like
hey, I grew up on cassette tapes, so I know. Don't worry.
And they're super talented with their instruments. They each play different type of instruments. So they blew my mind. But yeah, when you go to a concert and they just don't live up to your expectations, that really sucks. So I'm happy that you said that you've seen them twice and they blew your mind both times. That's great.
Oh yeah, and as I said, I would have no problem going to see them again. Great show, and they were great with the crowd, and they joked around a little bit and did their thing. And I know I've been a fan of these guys probably 7 or 8 years now, maybe even 10. Just
So
when they
when did they
started.
start? When were they super popular?
Well, they're a European band, so I'm sure they have been popular there longer than they've been here. But just
Okay.
when they started making waves over like this side of the pond, so to speak, I don't think they were super big in North America when the first time I saw them, but it kind of got bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they did a song with Xzibit, so I think they made it.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, thank you so much there, Katie, for coming by. It was great to see you. It's hard to believe we know each other for so long, and it took us this long to figure something out, but I'm glad we did.
Thank you. I had a blast.
Yeah, and you're more than welcome to come back on my show. We could do another song, no problem. You're
I'll
more than
hold you
welcome
to
back. I got witnesses.
that. Okay, sounds good.
All right, so good talking to you, and we'll see you on the flip side.
All right. Bye.
See ya.